Teslacam, I hope you're satisfied.
Jensen was driving home from work when he heard a loud noise on his left. When he checked his side view mirror, he saw a speeding Dodge Charger getting ready to pass him on the left shoulder before running out of room. He lost control and crashed, first into a work truck, then into a semi. The impact kicked up a cloud of smoke, which was so thick that Jensen lost sight of the Charger, and he thought the driver had fled the scene. Then, he noticed the Charger had stopped on the left shoulder along with the work truck, while the semi-truck had stopped on the right. Jensen pulled up behind the Charger. Jensen checked on both drivers, and incredibly, neither was hurt. When he told him that he had video footage of the collision, only the driver of the work truck seemed happy to hear it. When police arrived, Jensen let an officer review his Teslacam footage in his car, and after that, the Charger driver was in big trouble. Forensic detectives we are not, but in the right camera angle, a black Camaro can also be seen speeding just moments before the collision. Is it possible the two drivers were actually street racing? Yayo was heading home after his daughter's soccer practice when they decided to stop for groceries so they could celebrate the great day with a nice home-cooked meal. As he stopped for backed-up traffic, Yayo watched in his rearview mirror as the driver behind him also slowed down. Suddenly, he watched the vehicle lurch forward. A large SUV rear-ended the car, pushing it to the side before slamming into Yayo's Tesla and shoving it into the pickup truck ahead of him. Yayo checked that everyone was okay before documenting the collision. Thankfully, nobody was seriously injured and police were quick to respond. Yayo's initial repair estimate is over $15,000 US. But Yayo expects his Tesla to be totaled once the body shop sees it. Predictably, the SUV driver was uninsured. Yayo expected the insurance process to be a hassle, but even so, check out how happy Yayo looks in this photo his daughter took of him right after the collision. We've seen lots of wreck photos here on Wham Baam Teslacam, but we've never seen a crash victim looking so happy. Are you sure you're okay, Yayo? What day is it? Assuming you aren't concussed, great job keeping your spirits up, Yayo. Danny was driving through an intersection with a green light when a Kia driver ran their red light. Danny's phone automatically summoned police to his location and they arrived less than 2 minutes later. Danny went to the hospital to get checked out, but in the end, he didn't have any serious injuries. The same couldn't be said about his Tesla. His insurance provider quickly deemed his Model Y a total loss before cutting him a check for over $49,000 US. He told us he's already spent it on a new Tesla Model X. Ashley was driving her Model Y down Highway 101 in San Rafael, California. She took an exit when a Prius driver made a late lane change and slammed on the brakes. Ashley and the driver in front of her both followed suit, but the driver of the pickup behind Ashley didn't. Ashley was rear-ended, and the incident nearly became a full-blown pileup when the pickup was almost rear-ended by a van. The danger wasn't over yet. After Ashley pulled over to wait for the police, another collision occurred, which she also captured on her Teslacam. Sadly, her rear Teslacam had been damaged in the earlier collision, so this second impact was only captured with the side camera. Ashley provided a copy of this footage to the other party. She filed a claim with the pickup driver's insurance provider. Fixing her Tesla took a month and cost $23,000 US. Nelson is a rideshare driver who was driving his Model Y in New York City. Watch what happened after he came to a complete stop for a traffic light. The Toyota driver who'd crashed into him claimed he'd fallen asleep. Thankfully, nobody was hurt in the collision. Several nearby pedestrians noticed the collision, but thankfully they weren't hurt either. Nelson told us he slammed on the brakes, but the Tesla also applied braking automatically. The impact severed the connection to the 12-volt battery, so Nelson's Tesla had to be towed away from the scene. This was his first collision, and it left him shaken up. Even so, he's thankful that nobody was harmed. His Tesla is now at a repair shop awaiting an estimate. He's hoping it will be totaled so he can order a new one and get back to work. Serena was driving her Model Y when the driver ahead of her was distracted by his phone and wasn't watching the road. When the road ahead began to curve, the other driver continued straight and ran over the curb. That must have caused some horrible curb rash. With the damage done to the curb, imagine what happened to the wheels. Of course, he shouldn't have been using his phone while driving, but I bet he also wishes he'd protected his wheels. This video's sponsor MagBak makes products for Tesla owners that solve both problems. In addition to the rim case, a revolutionary product that protects Tesla wheels from curb rash, they also make these phone mounts for Tesla models S, 3, X, Y, and the Cybertruck. These mounts put the phone in the perfect position and angle for the driver and will charge your phone at double speed. They're perfect for FaceTime calls or for using Waze while driving. But it's no surprise that our favorite MagBak product is still Rim Case, a DIY product that will protect your Tesla wheels from unnecessary damage and even hide some existing damage. If you hit a curb with your rim case, just swap out the affected pieces and carry on. Check out the link in the description to order your own phone mount or rim case, and be sure to use our exclusive coupon code to get 15% off your order. Ron's daughter, who has a learner's permit, was driving to work with her mother in the passenger seat. As she approached an intersection, the traffic light turned yellow, so she started to stop. But that's when the driver next to her abruptly changed lanes in an attempt to beat the light. The side impact startled her, and it took her a few seconds to find the brake pedal while the Tesla continued rolling into the intersection. Thankfully, her mother calmed her down. The other driver tried to blame Ron's daughter for the collision, but not only did she have video evidence, a nearby police officer had also witnessed the entire event. The other driver was shocked to discover that a police eyewitness and video footage were both available to prove what had really happened. Busted! David pulled up behind a police car stopped at a red light in Montreal, Quebec, when the driver behind him did something very risky. They drove over the median to reach a turn lane. David was certain the cop would pull the other driver over, but he didn't. How very Canadian, eh? When the light turned green, a BMW driver signaled to turn left, even though signs clearly indicated that left turns aren't allowed here. The officer gestured to inform the driver that they needed to go straight instead. The driver seemed to understand, but then they turned left anyway once the police had driven past them. I guess that used up what was left of the officer's Canadian friendliness because he turned on his party lights and chased down the BMW to deliver some instant justice. Evan is a 16-year-old Tesla driver who was driving in a construction zone when a Kia flew out in front of him. The Kia driver had been leaving a parking lot when another driver waved her through a gap in the stopped traffic. She trusted that the other driver wasn't waving her into moving traffic before pulling right into the path of Evan's Tesla. Even though someone else had told her it was safe to proceed, the Kia driver was found responsible for the collision and was cited by the Florida Highway Patrol. Strangely enough, the trooper confessed he'd done the same thing at that same intersection and he'd also been found at fault. Repairs will cost over $13,000, and so far the Tesla has spent 3 weeks in the Fort Lauderdale Tesla Collision Center. Remember, if you're in this situation, close the gap. Waving someone through isn't courteous, it's dangerous. Leaving a gap could make them feel pressured to do something unsafe, and they are the ones who will end up paying the price for it. This submitter was enjoying his Model 3 on a beautiful mountain road when, all of a sudden, he lost traction and slid into the side of an oncoming taxi. He said this surprised him, and when it happened, it felt like something his old BMW would have done, but not his new Tesla. Amazingly, the rubber of the Tesla's tire was all that contacted the taxi, so the Tesla escaped without damage. Fixing the taxi, on the other hand, cost $250. By the way, this video came from the country of Georgia located in Eastern Europe, not the state of Georgia in the United States. Our next video is also from Europe, southern Italy to be exact. Considering it's a popular vacation destination, you'd think drivers would be pretty chill, right? Think again. Joele was heading back after a day at the beach when a Fiat driver began tailgating and trying to overtake him. Eventually, the Fiat driver decided to overtake 3 vehicles at once, but he didn't realize that the 2 drivers ahead of Joele were getting ready to turn. He tried to alert the Fiat driver by honking, and this worked, but he still wasn't able to completely avoid a collision. Joele shared his Teslacam footage with the victim before telling the Fiat driver to stop driving so recklessly. This submitter was on his way to a graduation ceremony. Congratulations, by the way. Suddenly, the driver of the truck ahead of him changed lanes without noticing the car in their blind spot. The truck pit maneuvered the car, pushing it ahead of him before finally stopping. We'd love to hear your opinion about this situation. Was the truck driver at fault for not checking his blind spot? Or would you say the car driver was at fault for driving in the truck driver's blind spot, a notoriously dangerous place to be? Render your verdict in the comments below. Chip had left his Model Y parked in Forest Hill, California when Sentry mode was activated by two guys walking past it. The two guys walked up to the car parked next to Chip's and busted open the door lock. Ironically, one of the burglars began fixing the trim around the lock that had been broken off during the break-in. Sadly for them, there was nothing worth stealing in the car, and Chip's Tesla was recording the whole time. Chip told us the police are still looking for them, but if you know who they are, send us a message and we'll forward the information along. Larry was on his way to work when he noticed another driver turning left across oncoming traffic before noticing an oncoming vehicle and slamming on the brakes. Both drivers had green lights, but traffic going straight has the right-of-way. When the turning driver hit the brakes, she ended up stopping in the oncoming lane, resulting in a head-on collision. Larry stopped and checked on the occupants and gave the driver of the black Honda a copy of his Teslacam footage for his insurance claim. Isaac was driving in Big Sur, California, when a rock approximately the size of a tire came tumbling down the cliffside and nearly smashed into the vehicle ahead of him. When those signs warn about falling rocks, they aren't kidding. If you enjoy seeing crazy things captured on camera, be sure to check out our newest channel, Wham Baam Security Cam. In this video, we put together the 25 craziest videos we've featured so far to get you started.